safe, let's get into some bench press, shall we? Lovely! Oh, hello and welcome to episode 10, you legends. What is happening? So we are back. A bit of a dip in volume this week, so we stripped it right back before going into the final phase of training, of this training cycle. So we're not hitting as much sets and reps this week in a kind of way to deload and recover to smash the next 4 weeks of training, which are super important. So here we are in day one. It is squat time. We're going to smash 190 kilo for just a 3x3. It's crazy to think that once upon a time this would have been a max. It's, you know, it's a bit surreal to kind of watch back, and it's always good to look back at your journey that you've been on. So yeah, as I said, we're hitting triples with 190 kilo. Nothing too crazy, just in cruise control. Felt very light in the back, so I just focused on technique, controlling the weight at all times. And then we smashed, that was my final set there. So we smashed some bench press after this. Again, nothing too major. We had a 4x3 at 135 kilo. I wanted to hit this angle just to kind of see bar path and exactly what was happening, what was the situation. Always working, always looking to optimize your performance, always looking to optimize your position. Just be aware, you know, you're always going to have areas that you can improve on and get a little bit better. So even though we're building, we're getting better each and every session. So as you can see here now, nothing major, 135 kilo. Again, just ticking the boxes and smashing the life out of it. So we finished with bench press. That was the final set there. Nothing too crazy. Again, no major hype for these sessions. We went into some bent over barbell rows. We hit sets of 5. I believe this is 90 kilo on the bar. So again, nothing too out of range, just focusing on control, pulling them shoulder blades back nice and tight and squeezing the life out of it. So we had a small few accessories after this, and then we finished up. So next up is day 2. Rup the boys, it is day 2. Welcome. So today we have some deadlifts, nothing major. We've a 3x3 at 215 kilo. Again, as I said, we're just dropping down the intensity and the volume in a way to recover and kind of deload before hitting the next 4 weeks of training, which are going to be tight. So have my Mighty Ducks t-shirt on, and I have a little Disney hat on, Baymax. If you've seen Big Hero 6, that's what my hat's from. Shout out to my fiance Fiona, who got me that hat many years ago, and I have loved it ever since. Enough for jibber jabber. Let's get into this set, boys and girls. So again, like I said, this week pretty plain, to be honest. Nothing too crazy. Again, you're going to have these weeks where it's just literally showing up, taking the boxes, clocking in, doing the work, and getting back to it. The thing that you need to focus on is making sure that you're mentally present in each session, even on these days where you're not pushing that heavy weight. I find it can be tough to be mentally present, but it's something that I've got much better at over the years. Because you know yourself, if something that doesn't feel as serious, you're not going to treat it as serious. So try to treat it serious and focus up on what you're doing. So as I said before, we are still pushing the variance of the lifts hard. So we have some pin press here, and we're hitting this for some reps. We're working with 150 kilo. This would be the heaviest that I've gone all cycle. So from what I remember, this is pretty comfortable. Again, pin press is something that I would have struggled with in the past because it's not a strong position for me. As I explained before, I like to pull the bar down into my chest and drive it up. So that was a big win for me. I think that's up there in PR territory. So we finished up a pin press and we moved into some squats. Again, just moving and grooving, loving life. For these types of sessions, I just like to throw on some good tunes and kind of get lost in the movements, as cheesy as that sounds. But it's what works for me. And it's what I've been doing for a long time now. So we're working with 170 kilo here, just hitting it for some back off reps, greasing the groove, getting that movement down to where it feels like it's just second nature, which is super, super important. Overall, squats are feeling very, very comfortable. And I believe we're going to have something juicy at the end of this cycle. So as you can see, nothing too major there, just 170 kilo. I think it was for 4 or 5 reps. Can't really remember now, to be honest. But that was it for squats. We did 3 sets. Then we whacked on into one of my favourite movements, which is a bench grip row. I thought I'd show you this angle here. Look at that. Booty! Popping in A7 shorts, lads. So, this row is very, very good. What we're trying to do here is basically mimic the bench press. So retract the shoulder blades, draw with the elbows back, squeeze tight, and then let it out nice and slow. Again, we're just trying to mimic the bench press here and work the opposite muscles that you would work in a bench press. We want to make a better base, a bigger base, and a stronger base. That was it for day 2. And we hit something small after this, and then we are into day 3, you legends. What is happening, you legends? So, we are into day 3. We're starting off with some pause squats. I made a bit of a boo-boo today. I did something that I thought might pay off. Now, it might pay off in the future, but just not right now. So what I did was I jumped from, I'll explain after this as well. I jumped from 160 kilo right up to 200 kilo. And when I unracked it, it felt like an absolute brick. I think just because my central nervous system was not used to that little jump. And even though it moved pretty quickly, it felt like a bag of shite. Now, I probably should have hit that for a set of 3 there, but I got carried away and I decided to throw on 210 kilo, which is the weight that I had in mind for the day. But some days you're going to have it, some days you won't have it. This was a day where I just didn't have it. Now, I completed the set, but not at the RP that I needed, and it ended up being, pretty heavy on the 3rd rep. So I'll let you guys here see this here now. Camera's going a wee bit blurry there for a second, but anyways. So overall, 1st rep felt grand. I knew after the 2nd rep it was going to be tight for the 3rd. Now I have hit this for a set of 4, but I believe I rushed the warm-ups and I made too big of jumps. But again, as you can see, that looked absolutely horrendous. So I was a little bit disappointed after this. As you'll see here now when I turn around, yeah, give the wee head nod. But look, these days are a dime a dozen. They don't really come along, well, not a dime a dozen, but they don't come along that often for me. So I just embraced them. You can't run away from them. So what I did was I dropped it right back to 180 kilo and stayed in my lane. I just focused on the usuals, control, technique, and just moving the bar efficiently. Look, this game is what it is, and you just have to take your licks sometimes and take what's given to you. So this felt very, very good. I just had this for 3 sets. And again, it just felt comfortable. You just have to adapt, you have to live and learn, and you have to move on. Here's my thoughts on exactly what happened. Oh, yes, you legends. So, as you can see, I had a little bit of an overshoot on pause squats. I decided to do something different today and jumped from 160 kilo to 200 kilo, which is just 10 kilo over my normal jump. I'd normally jump from 160 to 190. But today, that jump just, I think, proved a little bit too much. And it kind of took it out of me. My body wasn't used to it at all. So I had in my head today my top set would be for 3 at 210 kilo, but it just wasn't in me today at the RP I needed, and overshot by a good bit. So I think I just wanted to jump on here and say, like, I was disappointed when I racked the bar in, obviously just those initial feelings, but thinking a little bit further on and kind of walking away from it, it's okay, it's cool. I tried something different, it didn't pay off for me today, and that's grand. I'm going to learn from it. Now, there would have been days in the past where I would have just threw my gear back in my bag and just packed it up. But you know, when you learn that it's not the end of the world, like you're going to have days where you overshoot, you're going to have days where you undershoot, but it's all cool. It's still you're still laying those bricks, man. You're still getting that foundation built. So what I did was I stripped it right back to 180 kilo, and I just hit my final set of 3 at that, which again I just focused on position and control. Look, I'm going to learn from it. I'll take it into next week, but again, you just have to be patient with these things and understand that if you take the risks, you have to be willing to put up with whatever you're given. So whether it's a reward or whether it's a punch in the face. Today I got punched in the face. That's grand, it's fine, you know, I'm over it now. We're going to move on to some bench press, and we have some deadlifts today as well, and we have some pull-ups and some back work. That's it. If I missed out on all this other stuff, it would have bled into everything else. So instead of throwing my toys out of the pram, I'm just going to sack up and get on with it. So I hope you legends are having a great week, and that's just a little lesson for you. Sometimes you're going to get punched in the face, that's totally fine. Murphy's Law is always around the corner. What can go wrong will go wrong, that's all good. Just learn from it and get on. Stay strong, stay safe. Let's get into some bench press, shall we? Lovely! So there you have it, folks. That's exactly what I thought about the whole thing. Again, as I said, just have to adapt, move forward and move on. So when we did move on, we moved on to some bench press. We're hitting a 6x3 at 125 kilo. Again, nothing major in terms of weight, just again working on technique, the volume, and moving that bar. So yeah, 125 kilo, it is what it is, nothing too crazy, nothing too major. That's my final set there. Once we finished that, we moved into some deadlifts. So we're working with 190 kilo. Again, just getting the groove greased and feeling out that weight. One thing I'm actually enjoying now is using the straps. It's something I never thought I would use or utilize, but I'm finding them a very, very good tool. Just I can get in all the extra volume without absolutely smoking my hands, because in the past, tearing my hands and my hands kind of getting torn up would have been a limiting factor in some of the deadlift sessions that I had. So the straps are allowing me to get in that extra volume without absolutely smashing my hands. But yeah, once we finished the deadlifts, we moved into some back work. Two of my favourite movements for young lads, which would be neutral grip pull-ups, smashing on them boys. Again, these are fundamentals, so you try to include some sort of body weight movements into your training. So like pull-ups, dips, push-ups, all that good stuff. Now I supersetted the pull-ups with a rope kind of row, you would say. Again, it's just like a bent over row. It's focusing more on the lats. You'll notice my thumbs are free as well, so I have all of the rope in my baby finger and my ring finger, and I'm just focusing on a nice kind of loose enough grip and focusing on drawing my elbow back, squeezing for a second and then coming out. So that was it for day 3. We finished up after this, and yeah, we're going to get stuck at, ooh, little flex boy. We're going to get stuck into day 4 now, which was pause deads. Now, basically what happened was, on pause deads, I didn't want to overshoot like the day before, so I played it a wee bit cautious, but it turned out good in my favour, because again, not overreaching will make a big difference in terms of your technique. And just overall, this week is all about not absolutely smashing myself, so I need to remember that as well. So just being patient and not getting carried away, because I still have another couple of weeks of training left. So we're getting warmed up here. Again, I just focused on pausing for long enough today and taking my time with my setup. Again, in previous weeks, I think that pauses were a little bit shoddy because I was overreaching on the weight. So today I am just being a little bit more patient with the pauses and just trusting that I have the strength there to move the weight that I need to move. So this is my final warm-up at 230 kilo. Again, it's just, it does take a little bit of time to learn these kind of core principles and core values around training, but just give yourself a little bit of time and don't beat yourself up when you do have a bad session or a bad day. Again, there's no bad days. You can learn from every day that you train. So just take it at face value and ask yourself, what did I learn today? And then move forward. That's as simple as that. So here we are, moving in to my top set, 240 kilo, taking my time. Just setup is on autopilot now at the moment, and we're moving forward. We are grooving, boy. Have the wee vest on today because she's warm. You can see the wee farmer's tan going there as well, so we're away with it, boys and girls. Now, here we go. 240 kilo. We're just smashing this for a set of 3. Again, you can see here now that I'm pretty happy with the speed of this. This felt very light in my hands, which is a very, very good sign. And what I did was I tried to be a bit snappier just when I grabbed the bar, be a bit snappier in this bottom. Boom, pop, go. That's it. Nice one. So yeah, this felt very, very comfortable. And as you can see, I'm just being a little bit more patient with the pauses, and the pauses are all very similar. They're all very uniform. Push and then push again. Bang. So that was it for pause leads. I was very, very happy with that. We did some back offs after that. I didn't bother filming because they were super light and nothing too crazy. So what we did was we got into some close grip bench after that. And as I said to you earlier on, bench is starting to fly. It's starting to kick off now. So here's my final warm up at 140 kilo. I hit that for a single and that just felt phenomenal. So went up to 150 kilo close grip, moving and grooving, feeling great, buzzing away to myself here. So 150 kilo is just 5 kilos short of my best ever comp bench. I've made a lot of progress since my last competition, but this is close grip as well. So it's, in terms of range of motion, it is a little bit longer to press. This felt very, very good. So I smashed that. Boom. Feeling really good here. That was it. I was hyped after that, boys and girls. Hyped. And it's on now, is what I said. Yeah. So, finished up the young bench press. We went into young shoulder press. Now I supersetted this with some rows as well, some cable rows. So I like to use dumbbells for overhead press when I can, because again, if you do have a slight discrepancy in arms, this will exploit that and it will show it up and it'll allow you to work on that weakness. These are 25 kilos. Again, nothing too heavy. Just pushing out them reps, focusing on control. The tunes are hopping. We are buzzing and we are dancing. Thank you for watching episode 10. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the option.